finally we're up to episode 1. Victoria, Tour de ZigZag. ZigZag, I hear you ask, why ZigZag? Well, as you know, we've had lots of vehicle issues. So between, rather than just create a normal route where you would travel from here to here to here to there, this one's from here, vehicle repairs, back to there, back to vehicle repairs, back to this site, see. So we're all over the shop, but nevertheless, it'll show you a great cross-section of what's available in Victoria. We hope you enjoy it, and if you do, don't forget to click on the like, the subscribe and the notification button, and that way you'll be kept up to date with all and when it's happening on our YouTube channel.
On the highway to holidays. Yeehaw! 3 years in the making. Finally! Woo! Sydney, here we come.
3 years in the making, with every possible glitch you could think of thrown in front of us. We had planned to leave in April, but it's now December, so our original itinerary has also been blown out of the water. Hence, we've completely changed it to suit the seasonal conditions. So for now, we're beelining it straight to Victoria to get a few caravan mods done and then hit the road at long last. Now, problem number 1. As I said, it's now December, so what does that mean? It means that just about school holidays. So I guess the camp spots will be definitely the usual chock-a-block. Alright, in an attempt to avoid these crowds and congestion, after we get the caravan mods done, we've decided to head straight back up to the Murray River area to chill and relax for a few weeks, and it's free! Ready to go, Jack?
Hey, just about.
All aboard.
You want me on?
Yeah, here we go.
Ready, let's go, eh? Let's go.
Woohoo!
Out on the Murray. The best day we've had so far. 3 days of pretty average weather.
Yeah.
Got a beautiful day today, and lots of wakeboarders and skiers out, so not the very best day to fish, so we're just going to go for a sight cruise and a cheese and bicky and champagne cruise and sightsee. So let's go.
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
The Murray River is Australia's longest single river and the third longest river in the world. It stretches some 2,756 kilometres, commencing as a small stream close to Mount Kosciuszko. It then twists and turns on its westward journey until it finally meets the Southern Ocean in a little town called Goolwa, South Australia. And it also forms the border of New South Wales and Victoria. All that said, the Murray is the source of water to many farmers, businesses and approximately 1.5 million households, but also lends itself to many recreational activities such as water skiing, canoeing, wakeboarding, fishing for that elusive cod, and literally hundreds of houseboats for just that lazy holiday cruising along the river. On the topic of houseboats, there's no doubt this is a huge activity for holiday makers. Just check them out.
I don't know what to say about this one. Well, I do, but I don't think you'd say it on camera.
Far out.
That's a nice way of putting it.
That's the opera house of...
Yeah.
I'm already picturing my photo album.
Well, can you believe it? This one's got some form of a slow combustion fire on the back.
I've seen everything now.
All right, come on, let's go and sniff out this pub, eh?
Yep. Looks good. Sounds good.
Yeah. Never thought we'd be having a rump steak or a snoozy today for lunch.
Another area the Murray is famous for is its paddle wheel steamers, quite a few of which have been meticulously maintained and still operational. Here's the Emmy Lou, which is one fine example, taking holiday makers up and down the Murray most days of the year.
Well, what a top spot here, Jack. What do you reckon about time for a cheese and Vicky cruise that we said we started out doing?
Well,
Not to mention a beer.
sounds good.
Alrighty.
Get it ready.
Here's cheers.
Oh, goodness.
Along the Murray there's literally hundreds of free campsites and absolutely stunning. If you look closely, there's our campsite. Very rarely do you get a campsite to yourself these days, but yes, we did, and I might add we're only a few kilometres from Echuca. During our stay here we've noticed a few, what we hope to be, small issues with the Toyota, so we've decided to work our way back to Ballarat. But before we do, we can't miss the opportunity to check out Echuca. It's certainly a quaint little town with one section completely set aside to replicate how it used to be in the days gone by. In its heyday, from about 1860 to the early 1900s, Echuca was a bustling pioneering outpost. It has a long tradition of building and restoring paddle steamers. The Adelaide, the oldest wooden-hulled paddle steamer operating on any river in the world, was Australian built, including the engines, and was originally used to transport wool to Echuca from the nearby stations, and also used as a part-time passenger boat bringing the ladies into town for their weekly shopping. Some years later, the PS Adelaide was sold to the Murray River Sawmill and began her long life as a logging steamer. After this stint logging, she was sold in 1957 to SA and remained dormant for 21 years, until a 4-year restoration began in 1980. Eventually in 1985 she was recommissioned by Her Royal Highness Princess of Wales, Diana that is, during her visit to celebrate the Victoria's 150th anniversary. Shortly after, commencing her new career in tourism. About time we did a bit of a tourism, typical tourism sightseeing day today. We've got a bit of a problem with the Toyota. Couple of niggly problems we've decided to get rid of, so hopefully. So we're going to do a typical walk through and show you Ballarat, which is a very, very scenic town, and yeah, we hope you enjoy it. Ballarat is approximately 115 kilometres northwest of Melbourne and boasts so much history. Founded in 1838, Ballarat was originally put on the world map with the announcement of gold. Immigrants from far and wide rushed here to try their luck. Although the alluvial gold was soon exhausted, underground mining continued until 1918. We went to go for a walk in there, but old mate came out and said I had too many sins, so he rejected me. So I guess we'll move on to the next one. You never know. As one of the most populous inland cities of Australia, it now serves as an agricultural and pastoral district. Many of the public building and houses date back to the 1860s and 70s, together with numerous Anglican and Roman Catholic cathedrals. Rightio, Mrs. Claus.
Giddy up.
A large proportion of Ballarat has been maintained in its original form and absolutely stunning architecture. Wouldn't it be great to see houses built like that these days? The Ballarat railway station is just another fine example of architecture sadly long gone. I suppose the good news today is we managed to get the Toyota booked in to get some repairs done. A couple of EGR
tubes cracked on us. Goodness knows why, but anyway. So we're doing the typical tourism thing again, and Sovereign Hill it's called, and it's supposed to be a real blast from the past and a step back into the olden days. So yeah, come along and join us.
Set in the Australian 1850s, Sovereign Hill is located on a 25-hectare site that is linked to the richest alluvial gold rush in the world. The site comprises of over 60 historical and meticulously recreated buildings, certainly a true representation of the gold mining town.
Squad 3Z. Number 1. Number 2.
Just 2 pints of orange Jack, thanks. Let's go.
One of my favourite attractions there was the timber merchants. Even now they manufacture wagon wheels for commercial resale to the exact specifications to that of the golden olden days. The milling machinery perfectly restored and still works fine today. After the right timbers are selected, it's cut up into the exact size pieces to suit the hub, spokes and outer rims. The first task is to make the hub, and just check out this lathe. Sure is one piece of machinery. From here the hub is placed into the mortising machine and exactly machined to fit the correct number of spokes. The next and final stage is to form the timber into the outer rim profiles, and pretty much there you have it, a beautifully craftsman-made wagon wheel. So when visiting Victoria, the township of Ballarat, and also a full day to step back in time at Sovereign Hill are definitely worthwhile attractions. Just 20 kilometres west of Ballarat is 24 square kilometres of Lake Burrumbeet, and wow, another free camp. Prior to 2004, Lake Burrumbeet was a council commercial camping area, but during the period between 1997 and 2004, the lake's water capacity slowly diminished to the extent whereby in 2004 it was declared completely dry due to an extended drought period. This naturally had a major effect on campers and tourism, hence it was decided by council to close the camping area. As time went on, and as you can see, the lake eventually filled back up, and at this stage it was decided by council to reinstate the area as a free camp. Facilities are minimal, with only a couple of long drop toilets, which from our experience were not very well maintained, so be prepared and come fully self-contained. But all in all, another great free camp.
Everyone, here we are around at Buninyong Lookout, or Hill.
Yeah, Mount Buninyong.
We've got Craig here, old mate, that I met at one of the local caravan parks, and we've become pretty good mates, and he's told us about this lookout. As we showed you the other day, we had Flagstaff Hill, which we did a bit of filming at, but he reckons this one takes the cake. We tried to drive up to the top of it to get some really good shots, but unfortunately today they've got a bit of a cycle due on, and they've locked all the roads off. So we've just pulled up at the base of the hill, and we'll see what the drone can show us. So stand by, here we go.
Mount Buninyong, just 15 kilometres south of Ballarat, reaches up to 745 metres above sea level and was originally a fully active volcano, but fortunately these days it's fully extinct. What stunning views! Craig was right. I'll let you suck it up and take it in for a moment.
Hey Craig, whereabouts are we going, mate?
LL Falls, mate.
Okay. Any water there?
Sounding pretty promising, mate.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there sure is some water. Yet another beautiful scenic spot.
Heading down towards the Mornington Peninsula now to a place called Rosebud, which is right on Port Phillip Bay, which should be really beautiful too. So, and if you haven't already noticed, there's a new driver in the seat. Yep.
First time,
Jack.
L plates.
Got her all plates on. Yeah, and she's going really, really good. So it's very interesting.
It's a nice straight road, makes it easier.
Yeah, yeah. The van's towing absolutely beautiful. So it's basically like having nothing on the back at the moment. So yeah.
Forming part of Port Phillip Bay, Mornington Peninsula is one of Australia's most scenic areas. It stems some 40 kilometres from Frankston down to Sorrento and is the ultimate blend of outdoor camping and luxury living. All along the foreshore, camping is abundant and at pretty reasonable prices. You'll have some of the most stunning waterways in Australia right at your camp, and on the other side of the road is full-on suburbia incorporating major shopping facilities, restaurants, pubs and fine dining areas. The peninsula is also the home to the famous beachside bathing boxes, and this attraction sure did fascinate Jackie. The sheds are about the same size as a single garage and not under any circumstances to be lived in. And if you think they're cheap to buy, think again. They're priced in the hundreds of thousands of dollars bracket. Pretty hexy, I reckon, for somewhere to store your beach chairs, water floaties and budgie smugglers. Pretty sure when we get a bit along here, you feel like you're just about walking in people's front yards, but at the moment it's a little bit dense with bush, isn't it? I suppose Millionaire's Walk says it all. You have to be pretty rich to live here. But I can't help asking myself, if you had this much money, why would you want hundreds of tourists walking right past your house, gawking at your every movement? Talk about no privacy. Anyway, we'll lap it up. There's my favourite secretary doing all the daily typing. I think she's pretending she's back at work, but not really.
No way.
Located on the Mornington Peninsula, some 85 kilometres south of Melbourne CBD and at an elevation of 314 metres, is the attraction Arthur's Seat. This is without a doubt a must-do. And as you can see, the views are mind-blowing. Just check it out. I'll say no more. Cape Shank is located at the southernmost tip of Mornington Peninsula. It basically separates the wild ocean waters of Bass Strait from the slightly calmer waters of the Western Port. The most recognisable symbol of Cape Shank is the lighthouse. Built in 1859, was the second lighthouse to be built in Victoria. We're down at the bottom of Mornington Peninsula now, just around to the eastern side of the bottom tip at a place called Cape Shank. Absolutely awesome scenery. The prominent rock outcrop you can see is known as Pulpit Rock and stands out at the very tip of the cape. Just a short drive and a leisurely stroll from Cape Shank, you'll find Flinders Blowhole, but due to the tides on the day, there was no blowing. Beautiful scenery though. "7 weeks in the making and we made it. Our first journey and our first real journey in 7 weeks, and yeah, albeit only 140k, but nevertheless it's encouragement. And here we are at the tip of Phillip Island, where all the penguins come down, and you'll see all these little man-made burrows along the way as we walk along here. And yeah, it's really nice. And yeah, this is all part of our shakedown. Shakedowns you're supposed to have before you leave home, and have some little mini trips here and there, but because of all the delays with the caravan and then COVID locking it down, if it wasn't one thing it was the other, we eventually got going. So yeah, hopefully all will be better from here, and we'll see a lot more great video footage.
Yeah, and we've got Bass Strait there right behind us.
There they are, the tiny little penguins nesting. I reckon we're pretty lucky today, as it's actually quite rare to see them in daylight hours. Okay, we're standing at the top of the lookout now, looking down over the main platform viewing area, and this is the area where the little penguins will come out tonight around about between 8:30 and 9, and there'll be literally hundreds and hundreds of them that roam their way up the beach and work their way along the boardwalks that you probably might be able to see in the shot there, and they'll work their way up to the little huts, and that's where they'll probably bunk down for the night. We're just about ready to go down to our little viewing point.
It's called Penguins Plus. There's a general viewing area which we showed you this afternoon with the big grandstand type of affair. We've elected just to pay that little bit extra to have more of a private viewing and more of a close-up. We believe that the Penguins Plus area will have several hundred penguins going past us right next to us at ground level versus, and this is the pathway that they come from up the beach, and there'll be literally several hundreds going up there. And I believe on the beach only about 1/3 of those several hundred will come up on the viewing point. So good to pay the little bit extra. The only disappointing thing I've got to tell you is we can't film the penguins, we've just found out. So because the lighting of the camera, even with no flash or no flood, still will affect the penguins. So sorry about that. We're giving you this great build up, and of course now the letdown, but anyway, we'll tell you later on how great it was.
Over the coming couple of hours, the crowds slowly build and wait ever so patiently for the sun to set and the night time to arrive. Then before you know it, up they start coming. What a magnificent sight to see. And this is also a must-see attraction. As they continue up the pathway, it's amazing how each and every one of them know exactly where their own nesting place and babies are. Fort Nepean is strategically located at the bottom tip of Mornington Peninsula, where the calm waters of Port Phillip meet the wild waves of the Southern Ocean, which provided excellent protection for Melbourne and the rich goldfields back in the days of World War I and World War II. Numerous military fortifications were built, making Port Phillip one of the most heavily defended harbours in Australia. Below ground you'll find untold kilometres of underground tunnels, all leading to strategic points for protection from attack and numerous lookout points. Today, Fort Nepean certainly remains one of the outstanding examples of the evolution of gun technology and Australia's early defence strategies. Above ground you'll find numerous gun emplacements, barracks and below ground tunnels running literally everywhere. It sure makes you wonder how they found their way around without getting lost. There's also setups displaying the ammunition magazines, engine house and even a bomb-proof room. The first Australian shot initiated was in World War II and fired from gun emplacement number 6, which earned its entry into military history. These battlements were modified over time and used right up until the end of World War II. Down on the lower level and tucked in with pretty much full protection of any possible attack was the engine room, which provided all the power requirements for the fort's complex. There's so much to see at Fort Nepean, so make sure you allow at least a full day to get yourself around the complex.
We're back on the road, endeavour to try and find a campsite for the next couple of weeks to get through the school holidays and the COVID rush for campers wanting to go camping, and so we're heading actually across the Port Phillip Bay over towards Queenscliff. Get my tongue straightened out. So we're just about to head down to the Queenscliff Sorrento ferry, vehicular ferry that is, and board the ferry. Unfortunately today it's extremely windy, so goodness knows what the trip across is going to be like, but stand by and you'll find out. Actually made the ferry by about 30 seconds.
Yeah, 1 minute. They're waiting for us.
Yeah.
Lane 2, didn't she say?
I think there's lane 2, yes. Go in the high side, eh?
Looks.
Thank you. Let's go upstairs and get seasick.
Let's hope not.
see you next time. Well, there you go, episode 1 finally to an end. And that's just part 1 of Victoria. So if you like what you see, you want to see a little bit more of Victoria, it's coming up in episode 2. Lots of interesting places. So once again, don't forget to click on that like, subscribe and notification button, and that way you'll be kept up to date with everything that's happening.